class, as opposed to any other class that actually has substance, value, and all that stuff.
Follow him?
You come listen to me and just blathers on about something that we might do someday in the future. Why are you here? Because he forced you? I'm funny. Talk about pressure. I'm not, what, Jason Hewitt? I can't do that with my nose. He said he practiced. I remember watching him one time. He says he practiced in the mirror when he figured out he could do that. And then have you ever seen, he didn't do his lip thing. He's got a lip thing where he can make the lips do like waves, both the top and the bottom, going different directions. The only thing I can do is go like, I go like this, and I go like that. My son's still working on those. So thanks for coming. Why did you come? What did you want to learn about?
Want to hear about what's new?
Want to hear about what's new? We got a little article that comes out all the time called What's New.
Look at it every month.
We look at it every month. Some people don't like us to put new stuff on so fast, right? They get emails that says you're changing it too fast.
Yep, you are.
No, slow down.
Slow down.
No.
So those bugs don't work. We'll take about a month for each bug. You request a feature, will be once a year. Is that what you're looking for? Just one of the notifications you'd like to have. You know how many times that we ship Family Tree? 4 times a day. We release new code 4 times a day. Family Search itself, the whole website, we ship 1,000 times a day. Something on Family Search changes 1,000 times a day. That's how fast they are. Keep looking, right? Oh, that hurt. I have to tell you, that right shoulder hurts. I broke my shoulder. Yeah, does it look like it? I don't have to wear a sling. Yeah.
You archived the What's New.
Okay, we archive. It's in the blog. We put it in the blog, so it's always there. Yeah, I broke my shoulder. I'd like to give you a really neat story. You know, walking up on the roof at the Christmas time. So, you know, Santa flew by, bumped into me, fell off, hit the ground. No. I was in the front, standing on a flower bed, running electrical cord from that tree to that tree. Stumble bum here. Fall over a rock, do the twist and shout, try to catch yourself on the wall, caught the wall too far out, when I got with the arm, set up and went, oh. Called the missus, I think I heard something. She comes out and takes you to a instant care. That's supposed to mean instant care. I get in there and the guy says, this is like just before Thanksgiving, right? So he's like wanting to get home to his turkey. He goes, does it hurt when you go like that? Yeah. Don't do that? Okay. Can you do this? And I'm going, I can barely lift it up. Doesn't look like it's broken. Go home, take some aspirin. If it still hurts 2 weeks later, call your surgeon. That was my in-stuck care. I think I lasted until Sunday. That Sunday, following Sunday, I'm a clerk in the state. By the way, brother, to make you a clerk, decline. You know that when you're a clerk, you're in that job forever. They just shift you from one organization to the next, you know, because you never can get out of that job. So I'm a clerk. My state president is a orthopedic surgeon. Walk up, he says, hi, good morning, Ron. I go, oh, like that. What's the matter? Fell on my shoulder. You're in my office tomorrow morning. Call, they'll get you in. They get me in, take x-rays, and interestingly enough, I find this big old chunk of broken bone, and he says, well, that looks old. It doesn't look like it's new. I says, yeah, I remember. I remember when I was 15 or so, 14 and 15, playing handball on the court during lunch at high school. And I'm swinging to get this handball with that right arm. I'm going to belt that baby, man. I'm going to put it like 2 inches above the bottom of the ground. It's going to be going like 900 miles an hour. Swing as hard as I can. Some goofhead, Dorkarama, runs right in front of me. I hit my shoulder against it. It goes like that. I remember running into the nurse's office, right? The coach, I had to call coach to pull this ring off of my hand because my hand was swelling. They take me in. My mom drives me over to the doctor in our ward. He goes, put it in a sling, be fine. Going to find out it was broken back then. Anyway, That's a side story. He says, well, I don't see anything in there. How about we do an MRI? I says, okay, do the MRI, sit in the machine. I can't stand those machines, you know. I'm a little claustrophobic. When they do an MRI on the shoulder, they stick your head in. See, I've done the knee thing, but that one, your head gets to stay out. So I'm laying in this thing, going, I'll make that thing as big as possible. You know, it's like, oh, right here. I'm like, ah! And I'm not a little guy. You know, they make the tube like this big. And a guy like me, they just keep shoving it so it goes in, you know. Just do it again. Back it up. Boom, again. You finally get them in. Boom. Okay, you get the MRI back, and he says, you have a fracture. An impound fracture on your impact fracture. Sorry, not impound. Or compound. That would have been like bones sticking out. Impact fracture on your greater tuberosity. So he's talking to me on the phone. I go, the what? Greater tuberosity. Well, what is that? This is a surgeon, right? I said, well, where is that? Well, it's in the shoulder and it's your greater tuberosity. He couldn't say anything about greater tuberosity. So I had to go to Google, look it up. What it is on your shoulder, you got the ball part of the shoulder, and you got that bump part that sticks out, right? It was the bump. The bump is called the greater tuberosity. It's kind of fun. What happened to you? Broke my greater tuberosity. Right? So it had been an impact fracture, so that means you just smashed it in, cracked it all up. He says, we can't do anything about it. If you can tolerate, you know, not having a sling or anything, you can't do anything about it. It's not like you can screw it in or anything like that. So I've just been hurting. So I've been hurting. And it didn't help that they sent water in the form of snow significantly this winter. And I'm out there, the snowblower. You know. And then you got to get the shovel to get the edges nice and neat. Make sure you get it all off the steps. So that kind of killed me a little bit. So that hurts. And it would take, he says, 4 months for that greater tuberosity to be okay. 4 months. Glad I'm not in a cast. Well, anyway, where's all your friends? I wanted to overfill this place. Well, look, it doesn't start for how much? Well, what time is it?
You have 20 minutes.
20 minutes? Well, then we better come over here to the good side of the house and answer some questions over here. Because I think these people over here have been paying attention, or they're the ones that fear me the most. So I come over here, you hide over here so you don't get called on for class, right? All right, so anybody got any questions over here? Okay, wait, you're not even in here. You're in the aisle, that doesn't count. Okay, right there. Are we going to be able to put videos on Family Search? You know, let me tell you the tough part about videos. You know, we scan and look at every picture that comes up in Family Search. We have to do that to make sure that there's nothing inappropriate in those pictures. We actually have machine, computer algorithms, and we pay a company to look at these pictures. Now, a video. How can we make a video okay? How do we know it's an all right video, not an inappropriate video? We'd have to pay somebody to watch this little movie at, you know, like 20 bucks an hour or 30 bucks an hour, right? That's the stuff that gets tough with video. We haven't figured out a way to do it. We've talked about taking little stills of the video every, 30 seconds or something, and then sending those off to have those reviewed and see if that does it. Limit them to 2 minutes. You can have a lot of bad video in 2 minutes. So, anyway, we want video because the video gives you the essence of the person, right? Hey, there he is, my silent partner.
How big's your staff to do the pictures?
What's that?
How big's your staff?
How big's the staff? Well, we've hired a company that does
Oh,
it.
the company does.
Because we didn't want to have missionaries looking at anything inappropriate. Your calling is to look at inappropriate pictures. That doesn't work very well. Now, I know some people will probably want that calling, but we don't want them looking at it. We don't want them even involved. So what we do is we pay a company to look at it, and then we do an audit every now and then, or if somebody calls in and says this is inappropriate, or you mark, it's inappropriate report of abuse or something, that's when the insurance is involved. Okay, one more question over here.
On the detail page.
I'll come back to it.
No, on the other.
On the detail page, I got it. Know where it is. Heard of it?
It shows record hints, then it says go to Family Search or Ancestry.
Uh-huh.
I have some people that went to Ancestry, therefore I had to teach them to go to Search up above.
Yeah.
It seems like it shouldn't be so obvious right there to go before you go up to Search.
So you don't like the fact that it has a button on a person page that says go look for sources on Ancestry? You don't like that?
Maybe.
It's too obvious?
Yeah. Or down further on it.
Why, you don't want them searching Ancestry records?
I do, but I want them to look at Family
You don't want them to look at Family Search records. First, I appreciate that. Did you notice that Family Search was on the top? It's not necessarily in alphabetical order.
What if they thought to go to all that instead of...
Oh, thank you. She gives me gifts. I'm following her. Where are you sitting? Right over here. This is the best side of the whole place. Any questions on this place? Bribery and all.
They mentioned in the opening session about the uploading of JetComs. People keep asking me, has that been there for long? Is that new?
Yeah, no, it's not new. Actually, uploading of JetCons has been there since the initial Family Search back in 1990 something or other. It's always been there, but people forgot about it, right? Yeah, but we've done more. We've done better, and I even want to improve it better. Because you can just upload JetCons. I want to be able to someday, and I'm promising when. Everybody asks me the same thing. When? And I give it my religious answer. No, not soon. I say before or slightly after the millennium. Guaranteed. It's always been there, but I want to enhance it to be able to put memories, URL references to sources. I want everything that you can do in Family Tree, I want you to be able to put in a preserved, uploaded format. So it's always been there. We welcome you to come do it. It's a great way to preserve your JetCom files for future generations. I don't know about you, but what's going to happen with your thumb drive when you ain't around anymore? It's going to be in some box. Kids are going to go through it. They go, some of Grandpa's old stuff. Shuck it, right? Or spread it around. I'm sorry, but that's what happens a lot. If you put it up there, then it's there forever. And no one's ever going to... And if you, as a matter of fact, if you lose your JetCom, you can actually download your JetCom back down.
What is it?
JetCom is the name of a format of a file that stores genealogy information. It's really a text file that you can look at with Notepad or something like that. But it's just a format where we put in, like, person, their father, mother, child. It's just a format on how we describe what a person's a father or a mother and a wife.
Where do you get it?
Where do you get it? Well, most any application generates it. So like Roots Magic, Ancestral Quest, you can export with a Jet by Jet. It's a way for us to share genealogical data through computers. Yeah.
Please take your seats. The general session will begin in 15 minutes.
You go to search on the top menu. I'll tell you something easy. Go to familysearch.org/upload. And that'll get you the same place. You have to export it from one of your tools. So if you have Ancestral Quest or Roots Magic, you can go in there and say export JetCom. Not for Family Search. We don't export at the moment. Oh, that's enough from you over here. That candy wasn't that good anyway. Okay, we'll start in the back. There's always a great video. Okay. Yeah, you.
When they do upload their JetCom into genealogy, is it still the same process of seeing if their family's already in Family Search?
Oh, no. Uploading a JetCom is something different. Let's get very clear here. Uploading your JetCom puts nothing inside a Family Tree. All it does is it puts it in the genealogy section, preserves it forever, allows you to view it, you can look at it and see it and wander around. So those who come can find people in your JetCom, pull up the tree, look at it. You have to go through a separate process if you want to bring that JetCom into Family Tree, and it's not pretty. You want to know why? Well, it's not as pretty as we'd like it to be. We'd like it to be better. But one of the reasons is because we're trying to slow the flow of poop. All I know is people say there's a lot of poop in those JetComs. Just kind of say that. I can say that because I'm not being videotaped. We can be raw here. Montana raw. So my job, my feeling when we started Family Tree was I want Family Tree to be this nice, clean pool of water, right? All one person, not a bunch of junk, all that kind of stuff. So the way to slow that down is to make sure you clean all the streams that are coming in, right? So we get partners, we yell at them if they do bad things, we tell them what they have to do. We have JetCom, force you to go one at a time for each person, put it in. Because I'm trying to keep the streams clean that are feeding in the Family Tree so that it stays good. Okay, right here?
So I have a couple of questions about merging.
One per customer.
Okay. So a family search missionary said that when you're merging two people, you should always merge all the children and spouses, always bring them over. Do you agree with that? And if that's true, why not just force that?
Well, so he asked, when I merge two people, should I always bring the extra relationships over? The extra spouse, extra parents, extra kids? And when we originally designed merge, we thought, well, if they're not really part of the family, let's not force them to bring it over. But it's a good practice to go ahead and do so. Let me give you an example. You're going to say, well, where's that duplicate mom or duplicate dad? And you have to go find it by going to the mother and clicking possible duplicates and hoping it shows up. But if you bring them all over, then this right there on the person page has two moms, and they're exactly the same people, and you got the kids right there, and you can just merge them together. So for convenience, it's probably good to bring it over. So that's a good recommendation. We're actually considering, by default, bringing them all over. Okay, we're going to go over here, see if we can get anything good over here. All right. Go ahead.
On the genealogies, the last time I checked, you weren't able to delete your GEDCOM.
You can delete your GEDCOM that you've uploaded.
Okay.
So you asked if you can delete your GEDCOM. Yes, you can. So you just come up. If you like to have a new version, you don't want to upload that, just delete the one you had and upload a new one.
Okay.
Anything else over here? Back? Got to be louder than that. If you sit in the back, you got to yell.
It was a mistake. Printing documents from family sources, you can't zoom in and print just what you zoomed.
Oh, yeah. You're talking about historical records?
Yes.
You want to print just what you zoomed in on, yeah.
Right.
Okay, all right. I can't guarantee anything. I guarantee it sometime now, before, or right after the... There you go. All right, we're
Ladies
going to
and gentlemen, please take your seats. The general session will begin in 10 minutes.
10 minutes. Okay, over here. Right there.
For general.
Right. Just wondering, on our record hands, you bring them up, and on the left-hand side's that historical record, and on the right's our family tree. Well, have you ever thought, or is there any way that you could ever fix it so that we could edit a person? Like, a lot of times you'll find several things, like a birth or some information over here that you're going to have to copy, put it in a word processor, whatever, and then later go back to the person page and edit that birth or that death or what you found.
You're talking about when you're merging or when you're attaching a record?
Attaching a record.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like they do in Ancestry.
Then I get nervous about that. Let me tell you why. If you're attaching a record and I add the ability for you to edit, are you going to put in a reason statement? Are you going to look at the prior person's edit? Are you going to look at their comments that they put on it? Are you going to look at all the attached records that came before that record? No. You're going to go, this one looks better than that one, I'm throwing it on top. But the whole reason to try to slow down changes is to try to force you to read the reason statement the last person left. So that's why reason statements are extremely important, right? This is valid because I just attached the birth certificate that I pulled out of her cold, dead hands when she died. She says, when I go, I've taken my book of remembrance with me. And I yanked it right out of there. There it is. See? So I understand what you're wanting. I'm not understanding what I want. Send it in a whole video clip. No, email me. Okay, move over here, right there. Yeah. I'll come down here closer. I'm mobile.
I have a couple of friends and myself who would love to see a new feature on Family Tree where when we are adding missing persons to our tree and doing a census record, and some of the children fall into the 110-year rule.
Yeah.
And then
Are you going to ask the question yet?
we
She's setting it up. Well, after I log in, I enter in all my people. I enter John, Joseph, Susie, Mary, Elizabeth, that. Then I connect it to the ancestry, and then I went and got a record. What's the problem?
Well, for us to keep track of when they become available to do their work.
Oh, there you go. They could have just asked that
Can
straight up.
Can you have a feature that would send us an alert or something saying, okay, they've hit their birthday, their work can be done
She's
now.
asking for Latter-day Saints to take their ancestors to the temple that you're related to.
Yeah.
When the 110-year thing goes off, Happy New Year, she wants me to send her a notification along with her other 1,000 favorite cousins. And they're going to have a race to click. That's what she wants. She thinks I'm just going to send it to her, but I'm going to send it to everyone that asks for it. Ha ha ha. The interesting thing about, since we're not on tape, I can talk a little bit about ordinances. There's a whole lot more out there than you think there are. You just don't know that they're there because you haven't done descendancy or you haven't browsed around the right spot or opened up a line, by the way. And if it's not that, there are hoarders out there, by the way. I hope you're not one of them, although I'm sure at least 40% or 30% of you all are. Right? You know what that means when you hoard? It means the work didn't get it done. Some people call it you're their jailer. Spirit world jailer. I don't go that drastic. I just say, you keep screaming at me saying, why can't this work get done faster? And guess what? If you leave it green and hand it to your family members, it gets done faster. Duh. Anyway, I can't tell you the scope, but there is, well, I can give you this one. I just looked up the other day. Guess how big the largest reservation list is in the system today? Anybody got a guess? 10,000? Anybody else? 100,000? 365,000. Now you think there's not enough ordinances laying around? Okay, over here. You're going to tell me that person's going to get it done in their lifetime? If you have, I did a study. If you have 100 ordinances on your reservation list, 100, and you go to the temple every month, it will take you 6 years to do that 100 ordinances. If you go every week, it's going to take you a year and a half. But yet, for some reason, you got to have 2,000. People call me up and say, I really can't get my reservation list because how many you got? I don't know. So I look it up, 80-something thousand. You're going to get that done? Yeah.
Why is it that in hints there's a record that's already in sources? I mean, exactly the same. I know there's records that...
You want to know why a hint is exactly the same twice? Can you imagine? Can you imagine that those people out there with cameras actually took the picture of the same record twice?
No.
Duplication? No.
You added it from Family Search.
It doesn't matter.
A long time ago,
Uh-huh.
and now it's showing as a hint, and it's the exact same record.
Let me repeat. Also, by the way, did you think that one county might have the same records as another county? People who do genealogy, is that possible? Absolutely. And when the camera people come, they don't go, chicka-ching, chicka-ching, oh no, county over there already has that one, I'll skip it. Chicka-ching, chicka-ching. No, they take a picture of everything. Sorry. That's why. Now we've gone back and said, hey, check this out, and try to figure it out, but it's harder than you think. Right? To find which record in a roll of 500 images, that fourth one over there in the corner is a duplicate. So that's a little tough. I'm over here on this side. What do we got over here? Yeah?
Do you have an idea what percentage of census records are already in the tree? Do you have just an idea?
Sorry, don't keep the number in my head. I'm sure there's plenty out there that aren't. You're talking about all census records on the planet.
Yeah, at this point, if we really penetrated in the census records.
Yeah, depends on what country you're in. U.S. and Canada, a lot of their census records are available. Maybe not all on Family Search, but most of them are. But take a place like, I think India, we were looking at it. In one census in India is something like 10 bookshelves, floor to ceiling, of volumes for one census.
Wow.
A lot of people.
A lot of paper. And it's so big, they don't have enough shelves. So what do? They throw away the previous one when they make the new one. We all hate that. But, you know, they're just trying to not have to build another building to hold the next census. Okay, over here on this corner, we're going to come get this little sliver over here. Why on earth would you pick this place? It was the first place that I could land. And I've been walking for like 100 years to get to this room. Right? Any questions over here? Yeah. What time is it, by the way?
You have 5 minutes.
5 minutes. Oh.
If there are 8 different Revolutionary War hints, do you attach them all?
Okay, so yours is kind of related to theirs. You say, I've got the same record or hint of the same thing. Should I go ahead and attach them all? I recommend you do. And the reason why I'm recommending that you do is because our algorithm looks at what you attach and what you don't attach. And we kind of adjust to say, oh, this one is just not the same person, so we adjust our algorithms automatically to say that's not an actual person. We don't want that to happen. And by the way, sneak peek, wasn't planning on talking about it at all. We're actually working on a way, we're investigating a way to allow you to merge exactly the same sources together into one. So now you can have one source that has 5 URLs on it, for instance. So if you have a copy of the 1940 census from Family Search, somebody else put the same 1940 census from Ancestry, and somebody else uploaded a picture of the 1940 census, you can put them all together in one source. So that you don't have all those scattered all over the place, right? All right. I got one more, or 2 over here, somewhere in the back. Yeah. Okay, I'll walk down there. Why am I the one that has to do all the walking? Where's my little scooter? All right, go ahead. Yeah. Yeah. I would think the rule is if it says prohibited, don't,
I mean, if it's just you know, I mean, it's
oh, you're talking about in memories.
Yeah, in memories.
Oh, yeah.
There's nothing wrong with it. It's like maybe an ad of a bakery and then
Yeah.
it could be a family bakery.
Yeah.
Or something.
Well, that's because we're worried about, we put the rules in, and we said no advertisements. Because we didn't want somebody putting in, you know, come by Viagra or come by this beauty cream. So it said no. But we're looking at saying, we actually were discussing this last week, we're saying, maybe we ought to put a rule in there that says if it's before 1940, it's okay. Something like that. We really just don't want people to advertise modern products.
What about like photos or obituaries and stuff? It's random. I mean, it can be any kind of thing, and suddenly they'll just.
Well, usually it's because there's something like an advertisement on a flip for like sunglasses or something like that. All right, we need to probably get started.
Yep.
What was that? Hey, we got a few more people. Are you glad? Are you having a good time? This is the first day. Everyone's good at the first day.
They still do censuses.
Come Saturday, they're going to. Yeah, it was a great conference. I'll never come again. Good thing it's only once a year. Do they still do censuses?
Yes, I've never been asked.
Oh, yes, they do. My wife actually filled one out. I can't remember when the last one was.
2010.
No, 2010. Are you in here illegal? Are you illegal?
they-
Are you
they-
legal residents of this country?
They won't know anything about me and my children. They've never asked me.
You need to call them up. I've never been censused. They probably rush right over. But yeah, they mail them out to your home. This is what they do. A big old pamphlet. They fill it all in, turn it into bowls and circles and all that stuff, mail it in. Is there anybody else that lives in your home besides him?
9 children.
9 children. Your house looks really good in the census. There's Joey Bob and Billy Boo and Poo Poo Head, because they're just little kids, you know, filling it out. I don't know. Censuses have to be 70 years for U.S. 72 years. 72 years before a census becomes public. It's like they expect everybody to be dead. But actually, the 1940 census, we've had a lot of people in the trees show up as dead, and they're still alive. Because you people are making an assumption They're in 1947, so they gotta be dead. My mom was in the 1947. She's not dead. Sometimes I want to make her dead. I love my mom, but sometimes I'd love to see her somewhere else. You know, a better quality of life, the other side. All right, like, yeah, Christmas, snow time, I get a phone call from my mom, 2:30 a.m. And I just barely got to bed like a midnight or something. I want to do some family search stuff. That's the wife, that's all I do, except when she yells at me twice, then I go do that what she wants. We're good? Okay. So 1940 census, or no, 2:30 in the morning, she calls me on the phone. I hear water running. You know, this was the scare that went on around Utah during that cold freeze where they said, turn the tap on your water sink, open your doors underneath the sinks.
You need to tell them she's not from cold weather.
Yeah, she grew up in El Paso, Texas. When we had 1 inch of snow, they canceled school. And and then she moved to the freezing state of California. Yeah.
It is cold in here.
So anyway, that's her use with snow. And she called me up 2:30 in the morning. I hear water running. I'm afraid that there is a break in the water line. Okay, Mom. Yeah. Put on the clothes. Hop into the truck. 2:30 in the morning. There's surprisingly people on the road at 2:30 in the morning. They all must have mothers. Drove over to her house. Walked in the door. She says, I've already checked the main floor. Go check the basement. She wants me to check the basement because she can't do stairs. Right? She has a walker. And I encouraged her to just go straight with the walker. No problem. But she's not willing to do that yet. So I go down there, I wander around, check everything. It's her water softener running and cleaning the filter. Mom, just wants you to know you're going to have soft water in the morning. Thank you very much. Now you know what it sounds like. I don't blame her. I mean, if it's water running, I'd want to find out what it is too. So I just tell you that to have fun. All right, thank you for being here. I hope you enjoy your time here. We're going to talk about some things. I'm glad that there's least people in the seats. It's always happy when that happens. Let's get going. We're going to talk about family tree futures. So, how many of you have used family tree before? I better see everybody's hands up. If you didn't, lie about it. How many of you use it regularly? And I mean more than once a month. All right, good. Thank you very much. Okay, now, because you've used it and you can be a help, please help others and teach them about family tree. Okay? Now, we find that the best effective teaching method is tutoring, right? One-on-one. That always works best. It works best in school, works best in family history. It'll work best when you're trying to teach somebody about how to use family tree, what it is. Let's just talk a little bit about how we teach. I want to talk a little bit about how we teach and what's the most effective teaching. So what do we do? The most common teaching I think that most people are familiar with is teaching a kid how to fish. Anybody done that? Anybody do? No, I do genealogy. I don't do fish. Well then, if you probably had somebody try to teach you to fish. When you take a kid to teach him to fish, what's the goal of teaching the kid to fish? The goal is to get the picture with them holding a fish, right? And they're just like drooling on their eyes. They're wanting to kiss the thing, slimy thing. They're holding it up like a trophy. That's what we all want to see. We don't want to see them throwing the line out. We want to see them with the fish. That's the picture we capture. Well, what do we do to make sure we get that fish? We put the hook on the line. We put the worm on the line, right? We put the worm on the line. Don't worry about it, kid. We'll get you fish in just a minute. And we'll put the worm on the line. We cast it out there for them, right? And then we give them the pole and say, watch for a fish. And they all look around for that fish, right? And then pretty soon they yell, I got something, I got something. And what do? You run over and you grab the pole because they're going to let go of the thing, right? And the pole's gone. So you grab a hold of the pole and say, and what do you tell them? Reel it in, right? Am I lying? I'm not getting any vibes here. You're sitting there going, I never knew they did that when they fish. That's how they do it. Come on. Am I right? Absolutely I'm right. Get some energy here, people. That opening session was so draining. I know I'm not as good looking as the Property Brothers. I think it's very interesting when the Property Brothers get announced on any video or on the stage, all of us old guys sit in the corner and cringe because all the women go, I heard it this morning. I'm sitting there with my wife, and they said, Property Brothers. I said, you watch this. They walk out, all the women around me. What is it? Don't you want the well-seasoned one? The one that keeps the embers burning for eternity? And not just that flash in the pan kind? All right, you hold on to the reel and you tell them, reel it in, because you're going to get that picture. All right? Now, why don't we have them put the worm on the hook? Why don't we? Huh? Because they're going to poke their finger. The dang thing's slimy. I can't get and they want nothing to do with fishing. Right? They go, no way I'm doing that. This is ugly sport. I'm not doing that. But why don't we let them cast the line first time? Because they're going to get it caught in a bush, a tree, or their head. Right? And get hurt. When they get hurt, what are they going to do? Cry to mom. You're in trouble. And they're never going to go fishing again. Because it hurt. All right? And we certainly wouldn't allow them to go gut them. The reason I always got stuck with the gutting job. I don't know why I was. I think it's because I got so much thrill out of ripping the skin right off. I don't know. It just didn't gross me out. Remember, the goal is because we don't make them do the hook, we don't make them do the casting, because we want them to have a success. Right? We want them to love having that fish and be so excited about having that fish that they're willing later to do the nasty stuff because they experienced catching that fish and holding on to that fish, and they want to do that again. They're obsessed with getting, I want to go get some fish. Grandpa, take me fishing. Why? Because they want to get that fish again. So now when you do that, now you can say, hey, you can bait the hook. And they're willing to do that because they know what's coming at the end. All right? So now let's talk about how we teach people to do family history. We say, let's take you to the library. You see all these books over here? These all here are in your area. We want you to go through every one of these books and see if you can find some ancestors. What are they going to do? Oh my gosh. Right? People stand up. It took me 20 years to find an ancestor. They're like, I'm not going to do that. I'm only going to be alive that long. You see, you're willing to put the 20 years in because you found somebody. Because you discovered it. And that joy was so overwhelming and consuming inside of you that you want to feel it again. So let's help them have that feeling the first time or the second time. Okay? And then, of course, we say, let's go take a look at your line. Scandinavian, some kind of voodoo code. Right, kind of records. Only extra. We'll start there for your first experience. They want to run away and never come back.